Good morning, everyone. This is Felix from AskLex PH, and I welcome you to the online webinar for the Introduction to Lean Six Sigma Certification or the White Belt Certification. So, as feedback by some participants, I think our room is actually full. Our capacity is quite limited due to a free platform that we are using. So I've screen recorded this particular webinar and I'll just share with those who have registered but not yet attended online, um, the actual online webinar. Okay? So if you have questions, I see here I have 2, 4, 6, 8, quite 10 audience here. Elijah has Jessica, JR Key, Christelle Reniel Rovigin. So if you do have concerns, you may use the chat box located at the upper left if you're using a PC. Okay, can I know that you're actually hearing what I am saying by typing on the chat box? Yeah. Okay, good. So as mentioned, I'll be screen capturing this particular webinar so others will be able to see and hear the lecture for today. So by the way, my name is Felix Viroya. I'm a certified industrial engineer, an associate design engineer, certified lean practitioner, a Six Sigma black belt, certified Kaizen facilitator, and master black belt, and an international book author. So I work for a semiconductor company, and one of our initiatives is from ASLEX PH, so a training organization which provides Lean and Six Sigma training and as well as any other industrial engineering related uh, professional trainings. Okay, so to start with, the objective of this online seminar or webinar is that participants, white belt candidates, will be able to explain what is Lean Six Sigma, so understand the DMAIC methodology, what are the roles and responsibilities for a Lean Six Sigma organization, and what are the common applications of Lean Six Sigma. Okay, good so far? Okay. Okay, so the outline would be, so what is Lean Six Sigma? Where it came from, and the fundamental concepts. What is DMAIC? So what DMAIC stands for? What are the belts? What are sample applications? So if we still have time, we will be having a Q&A and wrap up or the summary of what we had for the previous 1 hour. So for you to get certified under our Lean Six Sigma White Belt program, which is actually free, you just have to attend the online webinar, or if you're not able to attend the online webinar, just have to run through the recorded video that will be shared on the page. And next, you will have to take an online exam. This is a 20-item exam that will be administered from our end. And after you pass the exam, you will receive an electronic certificate that is equivalent of a certificate that you have earned from a physical training. Okay, so that will be the requirements for your Lean Six Sigma White Belt certification from AskLex PH. Okay, next. So let's now go into the proper discussion about Lean Six Sigma. First, what is Lean? Lean is developed in 1940s at Toyota. So it was developed by the late Taichi Ono. He was a Toyota engineer that time, and he introduced what is known today as Toyota Production System or Lean Management System. So Lean is more of a system or methodology that is being used to eliminate waste. So waste are those process or activities does that not give value to a process. So anything that does not give you value, it's considered waste. So that is the primal purpose of the lean. And what is Six Sigma? So Six Sigma is actually a methodology developed in the early 80s at Motorola. So Bill Smith, together with Michael J. Harry, actually started the Six Sigma approach of problem solving way back 1980s at Motorola. By the way, Dr. Michael J. Harry happens to be my mentor, which is the co-creator of Six Sigma. So Six Sigma, if Lean focuses on waste, Six Sigma focuses on the reduction of variation. So whenever there is variability, there is a higher chance or probability of a decrease in the level of quality of products and services. That is why Motorola decided to create a systematic approach on how to deal with variations to further improve their level of quality. Okay? Do you have questions so far? Okay, let's continue. So, with the combination of the two, the Lean and Six Sigma, again, Lean focuses on reduction of waste by streamlining, while Six Sigma focuses on the reduction of defects by effectively solving problems. With the combination of the two, Lean accelerates Six Sigma, thus solving problems and improving processes in a faster and more efficient manner. If you will be asked of what is Lean Six Sigma, aside from what we have discussed previously or earlier, you can also have a discussion of what is Lean Six Sigma in terms of these three words or descriptions. We have Lean Six Sigma is a management philosophy. Next is Lean Six Sigma is a methodology. And Lean Six Sigma is a metric. So we will go into the details on the succeeding slides. Okay, let's go on. Why a management philosophy? It is being said that Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma is a management philosophy because this is a strategy that GE and Motorola has been used to improve their business and their operations. So Jack Welch and Bill Smith quoted that Lean Six Sigma or Six Sigma is one of the best strategy that has been used by their organization for growth. Further, it has been a management philosophy because it focuses on critical to quality characteristics. So these critical to quality characteristics are those characteristics that the customers are very critical, or this is the metrics that they want to get satisfied all the time. Okay? Next is that Lean Six Sigma focuses on breakthrough improvements. When we say breakthrough, this is the introduction of something that hasn't been done before. So you are encouraged to use different ways on how to do things for it to improve. That's what we meant by breakthrough. Next is that this management philosophy or Lean Six Sigma is fact-driven or data-driven. It is based on measurements and statistics. That is why it is required that a future Lean Six Sigma professional undergo a rigorous training in terms of problem solving, data analysis, and statistical analysis, as well as other industrial engineering related body of knowledge. And last but not the least, it is it is concerned on controlling the input and process variation, which yields a predictable product. If you can still remember, we defined Six Sigma as a systematic approach on reduction of variability for us to improve the quality of our product and services. So it has been called a management philosophy because businesses is using this as one of their strategy to manage their resources. Okay? So do you have questions so far? Okay. Sorry. So you can see on this slide are the levels of the business from process to operations and the business in overall. This particular Lean Six Sigma could be used as mentioned a while ago, as a business strategy, and this is being used as a tactical strategy or approach to solve issues like or concerning customer satisfaction and on-time delivery. But fundamentally, this is being used on process level where products and services are being created, thus building quality into the source of those products and services. That's why process professionals are quite being required to be equipped with knowledge on Lean Six Sigma. So it could be introduced in different levels of the organizations. So this is what is breakthrough, as mentioned earlier. So if you have a goal and you have a baseline is the current condition of your process. Let's say your current process is here, the average performance of your current process is here, but your goal is here. You can see a gap because the goal hasn't been met. And for you to address the gap, you would need to act on it, to do some problem solving initiatives, to do some process improvement projects or activities. And you don't want to be linear from time zero as time increases. You don't want to be linear because for businesses, time is a very important element. You want to cut in that breakthrough change, and Lean Six Sigma could help you do that. By introducing breakthrough change, it will be a faster way of achieving your goal from your current condition. So that is what we meant by breakthrough. Six Sigma actually follows a very fundamental type of reasoning. This is called the deterministic reasoning. So, what do we mean by deterministic reasoning? Deterministic means the source or causes of something can be always determined. While reasoning, it has something to do with human logic or reasoning. I know all of you would be familiar with the equation shown here, which is y as a function of x. If we will read it in a more practical way, it states that the outcome or effect is a function of some causes. And these causes could be found from the business, the operation, and the process level. So it only says that for every problem that you have, there will always be known causes. And that is what the Lean Six Sigma methodology or approach aims to do so. To identify what are the causes of those problems that we are facing. Okay? So that ends the discussion of why Six Sigma is a management philosophy. Next, why a methodology? methodology because it follows a systematic approach called DMAIC or DMAIC. So it stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So what are the things being done from each of these phases? So we will discuss on the next slide. But before we go to that slide, I would like to give emphasis that an effective problem-solving activity will always require you to follow a systematic guide. So Lean Six Sigma give us that particular system which is called the Dimmick Approach. This approach is used for existing process, product, and or services. While for some other belts, some other hierarchy of the Lean Six Sigma practice, we have a different framework or system to be used for new products and services. This is called the DMADV or define, measure, analyze, develop, and validate. But we will not cover that in this discussion. So what are the milestones for each of the phases of the Lean Six Sigma DMAIC? So for define, our key objective is that we define the problem properly. As expert says, a problem properly defined is a problem half solved. So your problem-solving effort or initiative will go to waste if you are not solving or you will not be addressing the correct problem. So that goes for the define phase. Next phase is the measure phase. Measure phase is concerned on quantifying the problem. So you stated from your define phase that you have a problem. Now on the measure phase, this is the time that we validate if the problem that you have seen on the define phase is a real problem, not just some causes of errors in the process like from the measurement system analysis or the way people do things or how the system behaves from the past periods where the actual performance of the process has been established from the defined phase. So you have to validate measurement system and to quantify the problem during the measure phase. The next phase is analyze phase. In analyze phase, we identify the causes of the problem. The usual tools being used in the analyze phase are the root cause analysis tools like fishbone diagram, 5 whys, failure mode and effects analysis. We also use Pareto chart for prioritization of various potential causes that has been identified. And we apply statistical analysis to address or to differentiate the concern on whether these factors really contributes on the problem being solved. So after the analysis of the root causes and valid root causes has been generated, these valid root causes will go into the improve phase. In the improve phase, we implement and verify the solution for the known causes or the excess that has been identified from the analyzed phase. For improve phase, we typically use lean tools. So these lean tools vary from the application of 5S, pull system, which covers Kanban or card signals. We can also use visual management tools, mistake proofing or Poka-yoke. We can also use parallel processing and any other industrial engineering tools or any domain of solution that we have in mind, as long as it addresses the validated causes of the problem. This all happens on the improve phase. The last, but I think the most critical phase of the DMAIC is the control phase. So after you have implemented the solutions from improved phase, it is very important for us to maintain that solution, to sustain the gain of the particular solution that we have implemented. And this will all happen from the control phase. That is why it is called control, because we will establish control plans on how we will be able to maintain the gain of our improvement. So that goes the 5 phases of the DMAIC methodology: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So this is just a mere representation of what happens if you use the DMAIC framework. So from the recognition of the problem, which is not really officially part of the DMAIC methodology, but could be done prior to the define phase. So define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Okay. So that concludes the discussion of why Lean Six Sigma is said to be a methodology. Next is, why is Six Sigma a metric? Six Sigma is a metric because if we talk about performance of the process and we use the sigma level as a reference to define its performance, it only states that the higher the sigma level, the better the process performs. So, in the context of a Lean Six Sigma methodology or approach, a Six Sigma process level is equivalent to 3.4 defects per million opportunities, or roughly equivalent to 99.999967% of conformance. So imagine you're producing coffee mugs. Out of 1 million coffee mugs that you have produced, only 3.4 of that coffee mugs, 1 million coffee mugs, is defective or do have defects. So that is a very, very predictable process you have there whenever you have that particular performance of the process performing at a Six Sigma level. So the lower the sigma level, the higher the opportunity for a defect or a defective product be created. Okay, can you see me, guys? I've seen some chat here that you are not seeing the screen. Can I just have a moment to screen share it again? Okay. Okay. So, are you now seeing the screen? Okay, my bad. This is the first time that I've did this type of webinar. Okay, sige. Nice. Okay, now we can continue. I'll be presenting this one. Okay. Okay, let's try. Is it working? Okay. Moving forward, let's compare. We said earlier that the higher the sigma level, the more efficient and the more capable our process will be. So let's take this example. This example aims to have the customer a cup of coffee. Now, if you're performing at a level of 3 sigma process, And assuming you're in the United States where you have to ride or a plane, coast to coast plane, just to have a cup of coffee. So that would be the effort, that would be the amount of resource you have to use if you are performing only on a 3 sigma level process. So whenever you improve, let's say from 3 sigma you improve to 4 sigma, so the amount of resource will reduce. From coast to coast plane ride, you only have to drive 45 minutes just for you to have a cup of coffee. 1 sigma level higher, yet the resource is quite significant. Okay? Now, you again improve from 4 sigma to 5 sigma, and you see that from 45 minutes, from 4 sigma to 5 sigma, from 45 minutes, it only became 5 minutes drive for a cup of coffee. And eventually, if you're on a 6 sigma process, it only requires you to have 4 steps for a cup of coffee. Imagine the difference from the 3 sigma process to the 6 sigma process, wherein you have to allocate so much of the resources you have as a business for you to get what you need compared to a 6 sigma process. That is way better compared to the 3 sigma process. So what we aim is that we improve our process sigma levels from a certain baseline or current condition to the 6 sigma level. Next. So I know most of my audience here, and I believe those who will watch the video, the recorded video later, are students, specifically those who are interested in the Lean Six Sigma. Now, let's look into the slide and let's ask, isn't 99% process okay? Because 99% is not easy to achieve, but is it okay if we perform at that level? Now, let's look in the slide. It states here that if your process is just performing at the 99% level, these are the possible consequences depending on the process that you have. First, 20,000 lost articles of mail per hour. Wow. Next, 15 minutes unsafe drinking water. So imagine if you're drinking that water belonging to that 15 minutes unsafe one. Next, 5,000 incorrect surgeries per week. Oh, that's quite creepy. And 7 hours without electricity per month. I think I can relate to this. 7 hours without electricity per month. So imagine how the consequences are playing if you are performing in the 99% process level. So that is why we vision to improve our process from 99% to 99.9997% or the Six Sigma process level. Okay. So that concludes the discussion on why Six Sigma is a metric. So again, Six Sigma is of 3 definitions. It could be a management philosophy, it could be a methodology, and it could be a metric. So what is the difference now between the classical problem solving and the Six Sigma way of problem solving? In terms of issue, the classical one focuses more of fixes. So whenever there are problems, then you have to do something. But not realizing that prevention is better than cure, like what doctors are saying. That is why Six Sigma focused on the prevention rather than the correction of the problem. For analysis, the classical methodology focuses more on experience, that it has happened before, that we did this before, not knowing that by having the right amount of data, unlike the Six Sigma way of solving things, data-driven So the data speaks for itself. We analyze it and we translate it into information that can be used to solve the problems. While for focus, the classical one focuses on products and services. While for Six Sigma, there is a recognition that products and services are just output of the process. For a while. Okay. Okay. Moving forward, for behavior, so as mentioned, classical focuses more on reactive. If there's a problem, then we will do something. Unlike Six Sigma, we anticipate what could be the problem, what could go wrong. We have that assessment for Six Sigma. Okay, for suppliers, we only award our business in terms of cost, whichever or whoever is the supplier that offers lesser cost, we choose them. But for Six Sigma, it's more of the capability. Is this supplier capable of giving me what I need at the right amount, at the right time, at the right quality? So that would be the question for Six Sigma. So this is a matrix on how to differentiate or how the Six Sigma approach is differentiated from the classical approach. Okay, next. Can you still see my screen? Okay, good. Moving on. So do you want to know more about Lean Six Sigma? So these slides will tell us what's in it for us. Why do we have to take the Lean Six Sigma? So for a Lean Six Sigma organization, it typically deploys belt levels. If you're familiar with Taekwondo, the martial arts, the same belt levels applies. We have different roles from white belt to yellow belts to green belts, black belts, and master black belts. Again, this is taken from the analogy of the Taekwondo hierarchy. And as well, this defines the roles for each of the levels of the belts. So different belt levels include different levels of expertise. The session that we have right now is more of awareness about Lean Six Sigma. So this is a certification program for not only for Astlex but other companies and other training providers also have this kind of programs, but it's not functional in a way. When we say not functional, there is no role that is being given to that particular belt. It's more of awareness. It certifies that you are aware of what Lean Six Sigma is. Okay? So let's go into the details of what each role does. So what is the yellow belt? So yellow belt is the first functional belt of the Lean Six Sigma hierarchy. So they are master of the fundamental Six Sigma concepts, the lean practices, and the 7 basic quality tools. They receive additional training in process improvement from green belts and black belts, and they perform as change or improvement agents on their line of sight radii or the specific process that they are performing. Okay? So yellow belt is actually the minimum requirement if you want to join a Lean Six Sigma organization. This would be the minimum requirement for you to get onboarded. So later on, I will be presenting screenshots of some jobs from JobStreet that requires Six Sigma certification from, let's say, from yellow belt up until to black belt. Okay? So that goes for the yellow belt. Next, green belt. They are the one responsible for initiating and managing the Lean Six Sigma projects within their primary function. They work closely with a black belt and is trained in many of the same improvement tools and techniques as the black belt, but in less detail. They utilize 80% lean and SPC tools and 20% design of experiment. Now, the green belts, they are the front runners of the process improvement. They act as project leaders, while the yellow belts act as members of the projects being led by the green belts. Okay? Next is the black belt. This is an individual training advanced Lean Six Sigma tools and methodologies. They acquire training and they lead and support Lean Six Sigma teams and green belts. So in terms of manner of reporting, the yellow belt and the green belt might be reporting under a black belt, and the black belt coaches them in the application of the Lean Six Sigma tools. Okay? They support efforts in successful completion of Lean Six Sigma projects. And they also function in multiple roles as a coach, mentor, teacher, project leader, and content expert for Lean Six Sigma project teams. Okay, so if you want a career in the Lean Six Sigma, this black belt role or certification is, I guess this is what you should aim for to get black belt certified. Okay, and the ultimate level of any Lean Six Sigma practitioner is to be a master black belt. A master black belt is actually more of the strategies. He heads the Six Sigma organization. What are the things that we should do to help the business in a strategic manner? He coaches, he teaches, he is the head of the Six Sigma organization. So, the yellow belt, the green belts, and the black belts actually reports under him or her. So, these are the tools that each of the belt levels are using. So, the yellow belts, the green belts, and the black belts, in terms of the faces on the lower part of the matrix, and how much of the percentage they are using in terms of the upper part of the matrix. In terms of the yellow belt, they are more focused on the quality tools, 80%, while the green belt has an almost equal spread of competency from quality tools to control tools and an additional skill set for experimental tools, while the black belt has more focus on the experimental tools, not letting go of all the domains of quality up until the control tools. So whenever you get a higher belt level, the amount of tools that you know, the amount of expertise that you are required or that you are expected to have increases also. Okay. Do you have questions that you want to ask? Okay. So I guess none so far. And our next slide talks about how to be certified. How do I get certified? So as mentioned, you are now attending a prerequisite for a white belt certification for free, brought to you by ASLEX PH in partnership with iExcel Review and Training Center. Now, we have the belts as discussed a while ago. We have the yellow, the green, the black, and the master black belt. So for all of those belts, there is a required exam which has a passing rate of 75%. This may vary from organizations to organizations. We have project requirements. You have to know a software at least on how to use software to manipulate, to analyze the data that you have or you have gathered. And you have to undergo training and the certification and the minimum training hours required. So let's go on row. For the yellow belt, you have to pass an exam of 75%, but project requirement is not required. It is optional depending on the organization. But typically, for our setup, for ASLEX PH, we actually have a simulated project that is being accomplished or being completed during the workshop proper. And members or candidates should present these at the end of the workshop session for us to see or to assess whether they have a full understanding of the tools for the yellow belt. So training cost, typically for the Philippines, the training cost for the yellow belt is 10,000 pesos. And minimum training hours required varies from 8 to 16 hours. 10,000 pesos for the average provider here in the Philippines. But for Astlex PH, for professionals, we we offer it at a lesser cost of 7,000 pesos. But if you're a student, we offer a discount of 3,000. So we only offer it at a cost of 4,000 pesos. Okay? So,
Hindi ko naman makita.
okay. So for green belt, another 75% passing rate, while this requires a real life project. So you'll not get certified in terms of the green belt level whenever you haven't completed a real project. Okay? So training cost is 50,000 on average, but as mentioned, Aslex offers a lesser price of 30,000 pesos for green belt candidates. It goes for 4 to 5 days training. Okay? And for black belt, so exam also, but the number of projects as you move from the lower belt level to the higher belt level, the number of projects completed is increasing. So from one project to from green, you have to complete at least 2 or 3 projects for black belt. And the training and certification cost, basically, you'll be required to invest on average 100,000 pesos for black belt. But for Astlex, a little lesser. Number of training hours required would be 80 hours to 120 hours. And for Master Black Belt, you'll be required to submit portfolio of your projects, meaning this is a list of so many projects that you have completed, coached, or mentored. And usually the training cost is around 200,000 pesos, requiring you to attend a training or workshop amounting to 120 hours. So this is how you get certified on a certain level of the Lean Six Sigma belt. Okay? Now let's talk of, if I invest this much, how much what is the ROI or return on investment? This is a summarized box plot of the job streets salary ranges based on the research that I did from the mentioned site, and the common requirement and salary that is being given for those that has certification from yellow, green, black, and master black belt. So if you're a new graduate, or if you have 1 or 2 years experience and you have a yellow belt, I think the median range of the salary being given to a yellow belt certified professional ranges or has a median of $25,000. Not bad. For your green belt, the median salary is 50,000. For black belt, the median salary will be 150,000. And for master black belt, the median salary will be 250,000. So the box plot represents the possible range of salary depending on the levels of experience and the organization that you will be into. So this is based on job seats salary ranges. So I think with this figure and with the slide presented before this, you can test whether the investment is worth the take. Okay? So who uses Lean Six Sigma? These are some of the companies that uses Six Sigma. We have Amazon, we have Ford, Kodak, IBM, HP, Motorola, GE. Even the United States of America uses Lean Six Sigma. And Dr. Michael J. Haring is actually their mentor on the application of Lean Six Sigma. So we have 3M, we have the Bank of America, we have Dell, Caterpillar, Convergys, and John Deere. These are just some of the companies that uses Six Sigma. Here at the Philippines, majority of the users of the Six Sigma approach are the business process outsourcing industries, those who are in the business of contact centers, back-end solutions in terms of HR, finance, so BPOs, service industries. Also, there are companies that is actually using, manufacturing companies that is using the Six Sigma approach. We have Western Digital, or the former HGST. We have IMI, even Alaska, Little Fuse. Those are some companies that uses the Lean Six Sigma approach. So these are the common Six Sigma project areas that we have. So as mentioned, this focus on the elimination of waste and the reduction of variation to optimize process and to cut costs or to optimize costs. So reduction of material consumption, reduction of material consumption, we have elimination of defects, maximizing process capacity, increasing percent compliance of output, and decreasing inconsistencies in business processes. Can I request this young lady or man that I cannot see to mute his or her mic? And, okay. So can you still see my screen? Okay. Just give me a while. I'll just check out something. Okay. Okay. Next. Yan. I just did this late last night. So I presented here, if you're a process excellence analyst, if you want to apply for a process excellence analyst position, it is required that you are a Six Sigma Yellow Belt certified. Now, how much would it pay off? 30,000 to 40,000 pesos if you have a minimum 3 years experience. But if you have if you don't have a Six Sigma Yellow Belt and you have that minimum amount of experience, I think they will not offer you the same amount. I just don't know. I just assume depending on what I saw on the job street post. Well, for this one, business process excellence engineer for Rayumar, one of the requirement is that you're an industrial engineer or you have a degree in engineering, or you have at least 3 years working experience, preferably on operational excellence, or you're a Six Sigma Green Belt. So these are some of the opportunities that you will have once you are certified Lean Six Sigma professional. So I guess that's all for the slide that I have. What questions do you have? Can you see my screen? Can you see my... there's a question here from Jessica. Yes, I will send the full record. I'll actually upload this one at YouTube so you can have it rerun or browsed. Okay? Hello? 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 Can you hear me now, Jessica? Yeah. So what I said earlier is that I will be uploading this video, this screen captured video at our YouTube channel so you can actually have a replay of what we discussed from the previous 1 hour. Will be that okay? Okay. So what other questions do you have? Please type it on your chat box so I can try to answer those questions. None? Okay. So just a reminder, so for those who haven't attended or wasn't able to enter the live seminar or the webinar, I will be uploading the video at our YouTube channel, and I will post it via the same post. I will comment the link on the same post that we used to pull attendees for this one. So this is the first time that we did this. So bear with us because we don't have yet the platform for the webinar. We just tried Google Hangout. And I think the limitation will be the number of participants that can join at the same time. So just a reminder, once you have completed the video, you will be required to have the online exam. This online exam will be sent out um, most probably by tomorrow. And after which you completed the video and you passed the exam, you will be given an electronic certificate and you will be conferred to as a certified Lean Six Sigma white belt. So it means that you have a basic understanding or you have the awareness on what is Lean Six Sigma. Signed by me, Felix Concepcion Veroya, as the program director for Lean Six Sigma of Aztecs PH. And this is, by the way, internationally accredited by Council for Six Sigma Certification. Okay? So if you don't have any questions, I will end this webinar so I can process the uploading at our YouTube. Okay? So if there are no questions, thank you and let's keep in touch. Bye.